You can tell everything about a person by what they do when nobody is watching. Olivia Bennet never expected those words to become the reason her entire life changed. The night was colder than usual in the quiet suburbs outside Chicago, and the streets were almost empty as Olivia walked home after finishing her late shift at the small neighborhood diner. She held her worn handbag close, thinking about the things waiting for her the next morning. The rent was due in 2 weeks. Noah needed new school supplies, and the small stack of medical bills on her kitchen table was growing faster than she could handle. At 29 years old, Olivia had become an expert at making impossible situations work. She knew how to turn a few groceries into several meals. She knew how to smile after a long day because her 6-year-old son deserved to see hope, not worry. She knew how to keep going even when life felt heavier than she wanted to admit. But there was one thing Olivia refused to lose, no matter how difficult things became: her honesty. As she walked past a quiet parking area near a closed office building, something on the ground caught her attention. A black leather wallet rested near the sidewalk under the glow of a streetlight. She stopped and looked around. No one was nearby. The city was quiet. The kind of quiet where nobody would ever know what happened next. Olivia picked up the wallet carefully. At first, she thought she would simply find an identification card and return it. But when she opened it, she froze. Inside were several credit cards, a large amount of cash, and a name she recognized immediately: Daniel Whitmore. She had seen his face on business magazines at the diner. A billionaire CEO known for building one of the largest companies in the country. Olivia stared at the wallet in her hand. For a brief moment, she thought about her own life. Noah's upcoming expenses, the unpaid bills, the things she had been putting off because there was never enough money. The cash inside the wallet could solve problems she had been carrying for months. It could make tomorrow easier, maybe even the next few months easier. The thought came quickly, but so did another one. It was not hers. Olivia closed the wallet. She placed it safely inside her bag and continued walking home. The decision was simple, even if it was not easy, because Olivia knew something more valuable than money. She knew who she wanted her son to see when he looked at her. Later that night, inside their small home, Olivia found Noah sitting at the kitchen table drawing a picture. He looked up and smiled. "Mom, you are home." She smiled back and placed the wallet on the counter. "Yes, sweetheart." Noah looked at the wallet curiously. "Did someone lose that?" Olivia nodded. "Yes, and we are going to help them find it." Noah smiled proudly. "That is what Grandma would do." Olivia felt a quiet warmth in her chest. Her mother had always taught her that character was not proven when people were watching. It was proven in the moments when nobody knew what choice you made. The next morning, Olivia dressed in her cleanest blouse and simple jacket. She took the wallet and headed toward Whitmore Enterprises, a building that seemed to belong to a completely different world. Glass walls, security guards, people in expensive suits moving quickly through the lobby. Olivia stepped inside feeling out of place, but she kept walking. She was not there for money. She was not there for attention. She was there because someone had lost something important, and she believed returning it was the right thing to do. What Olivia did not know was that the wallet she was carrying belonged to a man who had everything money could buy, but had slowly forgotten the value of simple kindness. And when Daniel Whitmore saw the woman who returned it, he would discover that the greatest reward was not what he could give her. It was what she would remind him about himself. Daniel Whitmore had lost expensive things before: watches, business documents, important contracts that could affect millions of dollars. But this time, the missing item felt different. The black leather wallet was not just another possession. It carried memories he could not replace. Inside was a small photograph of his father from years ago, the only picture Daniel kept with him wherever he went. The wallet was a reminder of a time before success changed everything. A time when life felt simpler. Standing inside the glass walls of his corner office, Daniel looked over the city and felt an unusual frustration. His assistant had already contacted security. His team had checked the building. Every possible location had been reviewed, but the wallet was still gone. "Mr. Whitmore, we are still looking into it," his assistant Claire said carefully. Daniel nodded. "Thank you." He was known as a man who rarely showed emotion. Employees described him as focused, disciplined, and impossible to distract. He built his company by making difficult decisions without hesitation. But behind that image was a man who had spent years carrying memories he never shared. The photograph inside the wallet was one of them. Later that morning, Daniel received a call from the front desk. "Mr. Whitmore, there is a woman here asking to see you." Daniel looked up from his computer. "Does she have an appointment?" "No. She says she found something that belongs to you." For a moment, Daniel wondered if someone had finally located the wallet. "Send her up." A few minutes later, the elevator doors opened. Olivia Bennett stepped into the executive floor, holding her simple handbag close. She immediately noticed how different everything looked. The polished floors, the modern artwork, the employees moving quickly through the spacious office. It was a world far away from her small home and neighborhood diner. But she reminded herself why she was there. She was not there because of the building. She was not there because of the man who owned it. She was there because something important belonged to someone else. When Daniel walked into the reception area, he stopped for a moment. He expected someone looking for a reward, someone hoping for attention. Instead, he saw a woman holding his wallet carefully, as if it were something valuable even though it was not hers. "Mr. Whitmore?" Olivia asked. Daniel nodded. "Yes." She held out the wallet. "I believe this belongs to you." Daniel took it slowly. He opened it immediately, checking the contents. Everything was still there. The cards, the cash, the photograph. Nothing was missing. He looked back at Olivia, surprised. "Where did you find this?" "Near the parking area outside the old office building on Harrison Street." Daniel studied her expression. She seemed nervous, but not because she had done something wrong. She seemed nervous because she was standing in a place where she felt she did not belong. "You found this and brought it all the way here?" he asked. Olivia nodded. "I thought you would need it." Daniel looked at the wallet again, then at her. "You realized there was a significant amount of money inside?" Olivia nodded. "Yes." "And you did not take anything?" She shook her head. No, Daniel was quiet. Most people would have expected some hesitation, some explanation, some attempt to justify the choice. But Olivia simply returned something that was never hers. "Why?" Daniel finally asked. Olivia looked at him with calm honesty. "Because losing something important does not mean someone else deserves to lose it too." The answer stayed with him. It was not dramatic. It was not prepared. It was simply true. Daniel had spent years surrounded by people who wanted something from him. Opportunities, connections, approval. But this woman had walked into his company and returned something valuable without expecting anything in return. "At least let me thank you," he said. Olivia gave a small smile. "You are welcome." Daniel noticed she was already turning away. "Wait." She stopped. "You do not want anything?" he asked. Olivia shook her head. "No, I just wanted to return it." Daniel watched her carefully. There was something different about her. Something rare. She had walked past an opportunity to help herself and chosen to do what was right instead. As Olivia stepped back into the elevator, Daniel looked down at the wallet in his hand. For the first time that day, the missing item no longer felt like a loss, because finding it had introduced him to someone he never expected to meet. Someone who reminded him that honesty still existed in a world where many people had forgotten its value. Daniel Whitmore had expected the story to end when his wallet was returned. He thought he would thank the woman, offer a generous reward, and continue with the endless responsibilities waiting for him. That was how most situations in his life worked. Problems appeared. Solutions were found. Then he moved forward. But Olivia Bennett was not a problem to solve. She was a reminder of something he had almost forgotten. The following morning, Daniel sat in his office with the wallet placed on his desk. The city moved below him through the glass windows, but his attention remained on one simple question. Why would someone return something so valuable without asking for anything? His assistant Claire entered with a folder. "I looked into Olivia Bennett," she said. Daniel looked up. "You did not have to." Claire smiled slightly. "I know, but I was curious." She placed the folder down. "She works at a local diner. She has a 6-year-old son named Noah. She is raising him alone." Daniel opened the file slowly. The information was simple. Olivia worked long hours. She lived modestly. She had no connections to powerful people, no hidden business reason, no expectation of gaining anything from returning the wallet. She simply did the right thing. Daniel looked at the report again. In his world, almost every action had a purpose. People built relationships because they wanted opportunities. They offered help because they expected something in return. But Olivia had walked into his company, returned a wallet full of money, and left without asking for even a thank you. Later that afternoon, Daniel decided to visit the diner where she worked. He wanted to understand the person behind the action, not as a CEO, not as someone searching for a reason to reward her, just as a person who was curious. The small diner was warm and quiet when he arrived. The smell of coffee filled the room. A few customers sat near the windows, enjoying their meals. Olivia was behind the counter, pouring coffee for an elderly customer. She noticed Daniel when he entered, and surprise crossed her face. "Mr. Whitmore?" she asked. Daniel nodded. "I hope I am not interrupting." Olivia looked around. "No, it is okay." He sat at a table near the window. For the first time, Daniel saw Olivia outside the walls of his company. She was not nervous. She was not trying to impress him. She was simply working. A few minutes later, Noah walked in with a backpack over his shoulder. "Mom." Olivia smiled immediately. "Hey, buddy." Daniel watched the interaction quietly. The change in Olivia was instant. The tiredness on her face disappeared for a moment. Her entire focus became her son. "How was school?" she asked. Noah smiled. "Good. I finished my reading assignment." "I knew you could do it." Daniel noticed something important. Olivia spoke to Noah with encouragement, not pressure. She celebrated small victories. She made him feel capable. It was a kind of leadership Daniel recognized, but rarely saw. After Noah sat down, Olivia introduced them. "Noah, this is Mr. Whitmore." The boy looked curious. "Are you the person who lost the wallet?" Daniel smiled. "Yes, I am." Noah nodded seriously. "My mom said returning it was the right thing." Daniel looked at Olivia. That simple sentence explained everything. Her honesty was not a single decision. It was part of who she was teaching her son to become. "Your mother is a very good person," Daniel said. Noah smiled proudly. "I know." The answer surprised Daniel. Children often notice things adults ignored. They saw kindness without needing proof. Before leaving, Daniel placed a card on the table. Olivia immediately shook her head. "I do not need a reward." Daniel smiled. "I know." He pushed the card slightly toward her. "That is why I want you to have an opportunity, not a reward." Olivia looked confused. "What does that mean?" Daniel looked at Noah, then back at her. "I think there are people who deserve a chance because of who they are, not because of what they can offer." Olivia did not answer immediately. She had spent years protecting her independence. Accepting help was never easy. But something about Daniel's words felt different. It did not sound like pity. It sounded like respect. As Daniel walked back to his car, he looked through the diner window one more time. Olivia was helping Noah with his homework at the table. It was an ordinary moment, but somehow, it felt more valuable than many of the achievements he had spent his life chasing. And for the first time in years, Daniel Whitmore wondered if the greatest discoveries were not found in business deals or financial reports. Maybe they were found in the quiet moments when someone chose kindness over convenience. Daniel Whitmore had met thousands of people throughout his career, but very few left an impression after only a few minutes. Olivia Bennett was different. She did not speak like someone trying to impress him. She did not act nervous because of his wealth or his position. She simply treated him like another person, and that stayed with him. The next morning, Daniel returned to the diner where Olivia worked. He told himself it was only to thank her properly. But deep down, he knew there was another reason. He wanted to understand someone who could make a choice so honest in a moment when nobody was watching. When he entered the diner, the familiar sound of coffee cups and quiet conversations welcomed him. Olivia was serving breakfast to customers near the window. She noticed him and smiled politely. "Good morning, Mr. Whitmore." Daniel nodded. "Good morning, Olivia." She looked surprised that he remembered her name. Most people with his level of success rarely remembered small details. But Daniel remembered. He remembered the woman who returned something valuable without hesitation. He remembered the way she looked at her son. He remembered the quiet confidence behind her simple answer. Daniel sat at a table and ordered coffee. He watched the diner for a moment. It was nothing like his world. There were no glass offices, no assistants waiting for instructions, no business discussions about millions of dollars. Just ordinary people sharing ordinary moments. And somehow, it felt more genuine than many of the places he spent his time. A few minutes later, Noah walked into the diner after school. His small backpack hung over one shoulder, and his face brightened when he saw his mother. "Mom, I got my reading assignment done." Olivia smiled proudly. "I knew you could do it." Daniel watched quietly from his table. He noticed how Olivia celebrated every small achievement. She did not care about appearances. She cared about making her son believe in himself. After Noah finished talking, Olivia introduced them again. "Noah, this is Mr. Whitmore." Noah looked at Daniel curiously. You are the wallet guy. Daniel smiled. The wallet guy? Noah nodded seriously. My mom said you lost something important, and she helped you. Daniel laughed softly. That is one way to describe it. Noah looked at his mother. She always says doing the right thing matters. Daniel looked at Olivia. Those words explained everything. Her honesty was not a random decision. It was a lesson she was teaching her son every day. Later, when the diner became quieter, Daniel asked Olivia if she had a moment to talk. She sat across from him carefully. Is everything okay? She asked. Daniel nodded. Yes. I wanted to ask you something. Olivia waited. Why did you really return the wallet? She looked confused. I already told you. I know, Daniel said, but I want to understand. Olivia looked down at her coffee cup. Because I know what it feels like to struggle, and I know how much harder life becomes when people stop caring about each other. Daniel listened. When I found your wallet, I thought about my own situation. I thought about the bills and everything I still need to handle. But then I thought about Noah. I do not want him to grow up believing that doing the wrong thing is acceptable just because life is difficult. Daniel felt those words deeply. He had spent years teaching his employees about success, about discipline, about reaching goals. But Olivia was teaching something more important. Character. You are a good mother, he said. Olivia smiled slightly. I am just trying my best. Daniel looked toward Noah, who was drawing at the nearby table. Sometimes trying your best is more than enough. Before leaving, Daniel placed a business card on the table. Olivia looked at it, but did not touch it. I told you, I do not need a reward. Daniel smiled. And I told you, this is not a reward. She looked at him. Then what is it? An opportunity. Olivia stayed silent. Daniel continued. I have a program through my company that helps talented people continue their education and improve their careers. I think someone like you deserves to know it exists. She looked uncertain. Why me? Daniel answered honestly. Because you showed me something many people forget. Integrity matters even when nobody is paying attention. Olivia looked at the card again. She did not see a billionaire offering charity. She saw someone offering respect. After Daniel left, Olivia held the card in her hand while Noah looked up from his drawing. Mom, are we going to be okay? She smiled at her son. Yes, sweetheart. We are. Outside, Daniel walked toward his car and looked back at the diner. He realized something unexpected. He had entered that place thinking he was going to give Olivia something. But somehow, she had already given him something far more valuable. A reminder that success was not only about what you could achieve. It was also about who you became along the way. Daniel Whitmore had spent most of his life surrounded by people who wanted something from him. In business meetings, every conversation had a purpose. Every handshake carried expectations. Every introduction usually led to an opportunity someone wanted to pursue. But Olivia Bennett had done something Daniel was not used to seeing. She gave without expecting anything back. And that was exactly why he could not stop thinking about her. A few days after their conversation at the diner, Daniel sat in his office reviewing the proposal he had mentioned. It was not a donation. It was not charity. He wanted to create an opportunity that matched Olivia's abilities. Claire placed a document on his desk. I looked deeper into her background, she said. Daniel glanced through the information. Olivia had once been a talented student with a strong academic record. She had plans for a career before life changed unexpectedly. After becoming a mother, she put those dreams aside to focus on Noah. She could have built a completely different life, Daniel said quietly. Claire nodded. Yes, but she chose to put her son first. Daniel looked at the report again. He understood sacrifice. He had sacrificed his own personal life for his company. But Olivia's sacrifice was different. She did not do it to become successful. She did it because someone depended on her. Later that afternoon, Daniel returned to the diner. Olivia was surprised to see him again. You are becoming a regular customer, she joked. Daniel smiled. Is that a problem? Not at all, she replied. The coffee is just expensive here. Daniel laughed softly. It was a simple moment, but he noticed something unusual. Around Olivia, he did not feel the pressure he usually carried. He was not the CEO. He was not the man everyone expected to have answers. He was simply Daniel. Olivia brought him coffee and sat across from him for a few minutes during her break. I looked into the program you mentioned, she said. Daniel nodded. And? She hesitated. I'm not sure I belong there. Daniel looked surprised. Why would you think that? Olivia glanced around the diner. Because people in programs like that usually have more experience, more resources, more confidence. Daniel leaned forward slightly. Olivia, Do you know what I saw when you returned my wallet? She looked at him. Honesty. I saw someone who made the right choice when the easier choice would have benefited her. That tells me more about you than any resume could. Olivia became quiet. She was not used to people recognizing the effort behind her choices. Most people only saw the surface. A single mother, a diner employee, someone struggling. They did not see the discipline it took to keep moving forward. I just do not want Noah to think that needing help means failing, she said. Daniel understood immediately. It does not. He looked toward Noah, who was coloring at the nearby table. Sometimes accepting an opportunity is also a way of protecting the people you love. Olivia looked at her son. The thought stayed with her. That evening, after her shift ended, Olivia sat at home with Noah while he worked on a school project. The business card Daniel gave her rested on the table. She picked it up several times, but always put it down again. She was grateful, but she was also careful. She did not want her son to believe their future depended on someone else's generosity. The next morning, Noah placed a drawing beside her coffee cup. "Mom, I made this for you." Olivia looked at the paper. It showed two people standing together under a bright sun. "Who are they?" she asked. Noah smiled. "You and me." She smiled. "Why is the sun so big?" Noah shrugged. "Because good things need light." Olivia held the drawing quietly. Sometimes children understood things adults forgot. A small amount of hope could change how someone saw the entire world. Across the city, Daniel was preparing a presentation for his company's new opportunity program. For years, his focus had been growth, expansion, success measured in numbers. But now, he wanted to create something different, something that helped people who were working hard but needed one open door. He looked at the name written at the top of the first application, Olivia Bennett. He knew she would probably hesitate. He knew accepting help would not be easy for someone who valued independence so deeply. But Daniel also knew something else. The world did not change because people were given everything. It changed because someone was willing to give the right person a chance. Daniel Whitmore had spent years believing that opportunities were something people earned through achievement, connections, and relentless effort. His entire career was built on that idea. Work harder, move faster, become better. But after meeting Olivia Bennett, he started seeing success from a different perspective. Some people did not need someone to change their life. They needed someone to notice their potential. A week after their conversation, Daniel invited Olivia to Whitmore Enterprises. She arrived early, wearing the same simple but professional outfit she used for important occasions. As she stepped into the massive office lobby, she looked around quietly. The building represented everything she was not used to. Tall glass walls, busy executives, people moving with confidence and purpose. For a moment, she wondered if she had made a mistake coming. Then she remembered why she was there. Not for herself. For Noah. Daniel was waiting when she arrived. He noticed her expression immediately. "Are you okay?" he asked. Olivia smiled. "Yes. I am just realizing this is a very different world from my diner." Daniel looked around the lobby. It is a different world from many people's lives. Olivia appreciated his honesty. He did not pretend the difference did not exist. Instead, he acknowledged it. They walked into a conference room where Daniel showed her the opportunity he had mentioned. It was not a handout. It was a professional development program designed to help people continue their education and improve their careers. Olivia listened carefully. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. Daniel looked at her. "Because I believe talent should not disappear just because someone has difficult circumstances." Olivia looked down at the documents. For years, she had focused on surviving, paying bills, raising Noah, making sure there was food on the table. She had forgotten what it felt like to think about her own future. "I do not even know if I qualify," she admitted. Daniel smiled slightly. "You returned a wallet filled with money when nobody was watching. That tells me more about your character than a piece of paper." Olivia looked at him. "You really think that matters?" "I know it matters." His answer was immediate. Later that afternoon, Daniel visited the diner again. This time, he met Noah outside after school. The boy was holding a science project and looked excited. "I made a model of the solar system," Noah said proudly. Daniel looked at the project. "That is impressive." Noah smiled. "My mom says I should keep learning even when things are hard." Daniel looked at Olivia. She stood nearby with a quiet smile. He understood something then. Noah was not just a child who needed an opportunity. He was a child already surrounded by determination and love. That evening, Daniel returned to his office and reviewed the documents for the program. He made a decision. He wanted Noah included in a youth education initiative connected to Whitmore Enterprises. Not because he felt sorry for him, because he saw potential. When Daniel called Olivia, she immediately became cautious. "Mr. Whitmore, is everything okay?" "Yes. I wanted to talk about Noah." There was a pause. "What about him?" Daniel explained the education opportunity. Olivia listened silently. When he finished, she took a deep breath. "I appreciate that. I really do. But I need to ask something." "What? Are you doing this because you think we need saving?" Daniel understood the question. It was not about money. It was about dignity. "No," he said. "I am doing this because I think Noah deserves every chance available to him." Olivia became quiet. Those words were different. They did not make her feel small. They made her feel respected. "Thank you," she finally said. Not just for helping, for seeing him. After the call ended, Daniel sat alone in his office. The city lights reflected against the windows, but his mind was far away from business. He thought about how many talented people never received opportunities because Daniel Whitmore had built his reputation by recognizing potential before anyone else did. In business, that ability helped him find new opportunities and create successful ventures. But with Olivia Bennett, it was different. He was not looking at a business opportunity. He was looking at a person who had been overlooked for too long. The following weeks brought small changes into Olivia's life. Nothing happened overnight. There was no sudden transformation. Instead, there were quiet moments that slowly created a new path. Olivia continued working at the diner. She continued helping Noah with homework. She continued waking up early and doing everything she could to provide for her son. The difference was that now, she had someone who believed in her abilities. Daniel checked on the progress of the education program, but made sure Olivia never felt pressured. He wanted her to choose the opportunity because she believed in herself, not because she felt obligated. One afternoon, Olivia visited Whitmore Enterprises for a second meeting. This time, she walked through the lobby with more confidence. She still noticed the impressive building around her, but she no longer felt like she did not belong. Daniel greeted her personally. "You came back," he said with a smile. Olivia nodded. "I thought about what you said." "And?" Daniel asked. She looked around the office before answering. "I realized something. For a long time, I thought my life stopped when I became a mother." Daniel listened carefully. But maybe it just changed direction. Her words stayed with him. Daniel had spent years chasing bigger goals, but Olivia had discovered something he had forgotten. A different path was not always a smaller one. Sometimes it was the path that mattered most. During their meeting, Daniel introduced Olivia to members of his team. He did not present her as someone who needed help. He introduced her as someone with valuable experience and determination. That difference mattered. Olivia noticed how people treated her. They did not look at her like she was someone from outside their world. They listened. They asked questions. They respected her opinions. Later, Daniel walked with her through the office hallway. "You seem more comfortable today," he said. Olivia smiled. "I am trying." "That is enough." She looked at him. "You always say things like that." Daniel laughed softly. "Is that a bad thing?" "No," she replied. "It is just unusual." Daniel looked curious. "Why?" Olivia thought for a moment. "Because most people focus on what you have not done yet. You focus on what someone is capable of becoming." Daniel did not answer immediately. He had never thought of himself that way. He was used to measuring results. Success. Growth. Numbers. But Olivia saw something different. She saw intention. That evening, Daniel attended a company meeting where executives discussed future investments. Normally, he would focus only on financial outcomes. But when someone suggested removing a community support project because it was not immediately profitable, Daniel disagreed. "Not everything valuable can be measured quickly," he said. His team noticed the change. The CEO known for efficiency was now talking about impact. About people. About long-term possibilities. Meanwhile, Olivia sat at home helping Noah prepare for a school presentation. He looked at her and smiled. "Mom, you seem happy." Olivia paused. She had not realized it herself. "Do I?" Noah nodded. "Yes, you smile more." She looked at him and felt a quiet emotion she could not describe. For years, she had focused so much on protecting Noah that she forgot she was allowed to hope too. The next day, Daniel received a message from Olivia. It was simple. "Thank you for believing in me." He looked at the screen for a long moment. Then he replied, "Thank you for reminding me why believing in people matters." Neither of them knew where this connection would lead. They came from completely different worlds, different experiences, different lives, but one honest decision had created a bridge between them. Olivia had returned a wallet because it was the right thing to do. Daniel had offered an opportunity because he recognized something rare. And together, they were discovering that kindness does not simply change one moment. Sometimes, it changes the direction of an entire life. Daniel Whitmore had spent years building a company where every decision was measured by results. Numbers showed growth. Reports showed progress. Success had always been something he could calculate. But lately, he found himself paying attention to things that could not be placed on a spreadsheet. A mother's determination, a child's confidence, a simple act of honesty that revealed more about a person than any professional achievement. Olivia Bennett had changed the way he looked at success, not through a dramatic moment, not through a grand speech, through consistency, through the small choices she made every day. As the weeks passed, Olivia continued participating in the professional development program at Whitmore Enterprises. She was still learning, still adjusting, still balancing work, motherhood, and new opportunities. But something had changed. She no longer walked into unfamiliar places feeling like she did not belong. One afternoon, Daniel invited Olivia to a company event where employees and community partners gathered to discuss future programs. Olivia almost declined. She worried she would feel out of place among executives and professionals. But Daniel encouraged her. "You have a place there," he told her. Those words stayed with her. When she arrived, she noticed something different. People were not looking at her because she was a single mother. They were listening because of what she had to say. During the meeting, Olivia shared her experiences about balancing work and raising Noah. She explained how many talented parents struggled not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked opportunities that matched their circumstances. The room became quiet as people listened. Daniel watched from across the room. He was not surprised by her words. He had already seen the strength behind them, but he noticed something else. Other people were seeing it too. After the meeting, one of the executives approached Daniel. "She has a very practical perspective," the executive said. Daniel smiled. "Yes, she does." It was a simple conversation, but it represented something important. Olivia was no longer someone receiving an opportunity. She was someone creating value. Later that evening, Daniel visited the diner. Olivia was finishing her shift when he arrived. "You did well today," he said. Olivia smiled. "I was nervous." Nobody could tell. She laughed softly. "That is because I have had years of practice pretending I am not nervous." Daniel understood that feeling. Many people saw confidence as something natural. They did not see the courage it took to continue despite uncertainty. They sat quietly for a moment. Then Olivia asked, "Can I ask you something?" Daniel nodded. "Of course. Why do you care so much about helping people you barely know?" Daniel looked out the window. The streetlights reflected against the glass. He thought about his answer carefully. "Because I know what it feels like to have people see only one part of you." Olivia listened. They see the CEO, the company, the success, but they do not always see the person. She nodded slowly. "I think everyone has a story people do not know." Daniel looked at her. Exactly. That sentence stayed with him. Everyone had a story. Everyone carried something invisible. The next morning, Daniel announced a new initiative at Whitmore Enterprises. A program designed to support parents who wanted to continue their education and careers while managing family responsibilities. His team expected it to be another successful company project. But Daniel knew it was something more. It was personal. It came from one woman who returned a wallet because it was the right thing to do. Meanwhile, Olivia sat with Noah after school. He showed her a new science project and excitedly explained everything he learned. She listened with a smile. Months earlier, she worried about simply making it through each day. Now she was watching her son dream bigger. She still worked hard. She still faced challenges. But she no longer felt invisible. That evening, Daniel received a message from Olivia. Noah got accepted into the program. He is so excited. "Thank you." Daniel looked at the message and smiled. He typed his response slowly. "You should be proud. He is following the example you gave him." Olivia read the words quietly. For years, she wondered if her sacrifices mattered. Now she knew they did. Not because someone rewarded her. Not because life suddenly became perfect. But because kindness had a way of returning when people least expected it. Daniel thought he had found someone to help. Instead, he found someone who reminded him why helping mattered in the first place. Daniel Whitmore had always believed that the most valuable things were the ones that could be measured. company growth, market success, long-term results. But after watching Olivia Bennet change the lives around her without asking for recognition, he started questioning everything he once believed about value. Some things could not be counted. A mother's sacrifice, a child's confidence, a person's decision to do what was right when nobody was watching. Over the next few months, Olivia became an important part of the new initiative at Whitmore Enterprises. She was no longer just someone who received an opportunity. She became someone who helped shape it. Employees began asking for her opinion because she understood challenges many people inside the company had never experienced. She knew what it meant to work hard while carrying responsibilities outside of work. She knew what it meant to have talent but lack access. One afternoon, Daniel invited Olivia to review a new community support project. They sat in a quiet conference room overlooking the city. Olivia studied the plans carefully. "This could help a lot of people," she said. Daniel smiled. "That is the goal." She looked at him. "You really mean that, don't you?" Daniel nodded. "I do." Olivia leaned back and thought for a moment. "Can I tell you something?" "Of course. When I first met you, I thought you were just another wealthy person who wanted to do something good because it looked right." Daniel smiled slightly. "And now?" Olivia looked at the documents in front of her. "Now I think you actually care." The honesty of her answer made Daniel laugh softly. Most people around him chose their words carefully. They worried about saying the wrong thing. Olivia did not. She spoke with kindness, but she also spoke the truth. That was one of the things he respected most about her. Later that evening, Daniel attended a private dinner with several business partners. The conversation quickly turned toward profits and expansion. Normally, he would have focused entirely on those topics. But when someone questioned the value of investing in support programs for families, Daniel responded differently than he would have months earlier. "A company is not only defined by what it earns," he said. "It is also defined by what it contributes." The room became quiet. His partners noticed the change. Daniel Whitmore, the CEO known for making decisions based on logic and efficiency, was now speaking about compassion as part of success. Meanwhile, Olivia was facing a challenge of her own. The opportunity she received was opening new doors, but it also brought new responsibilities. She worried that she would not be able to balance everything. One evening, she sat at the kitchen table while Noah finished his homework. He looked at her and noticed the concern on her face. "Mom, are you worried?" he asked. Olivia smiled gently. "A little." Noah thought for a moment. "You always tell me to try, even when something is hard." She looked at him and smiled. "Yes, I do." "Then you should try too." The simplicity of his words touched her. Children often saw courage more clearly than adults. They did not define success by perfection. They saw it in effort. The next morning, Olivia arrived at Whitmore Enterprises with a different confidence. She was still humble. She was still the same person who returned a lost wallet. But she no longer questioned whether she belonged. Daniel noticed immediately. "You look different today," he said. Olivia smiled. "I think I finally believe I am supposed to be here." Daniel nodded. "You always were." That sentence stayed with her. Because for a long time, Olivia thought opportunities were things other people received. She thought certain doors were meant for certain people. But now she understood something important. Sometimes the only difference between someone's potential and their success was whether someone believed in them first. As Daniel watched Olivia work with his team, he realized something too. He thought he was changing her future, but she had already changed his. She reminded him that leadership was not only about making decisions. It was about understanding people. It was about seeing value where others looked away. And somewhere between a lost wallet and an unexpected meeting, two people from completely different worlds had discovered the same truth. The greatest rewards in life are not always the ones we receive. Sometimes they are the ones that change who we become. Daniel Whitmore had always believed that change happened through major decisions. A company merger, a strategic investment, a moment where someone chose a different direction and everything shifted. But looking back at the path that brought Olivia Bennet into his life, he realized something different. Sometimes the smallest choices created the biggest transformations. Olivia never tried to change the world. She simply returned a wallet that did not belong to her. She helped someone because it was the right thing to do. And that single choice created a connection neither of them expected. As the new support program continued growing, Daniel noticed something happening inside Whitmore Enterprises. Employees were not only talking about performance anymore, they were talking about purpose. They were sharing ideas about how the company could create opportunities for more people. The change was subtle, but Daniel saw it clearly. The company was becoming more human. One afternoon, Daniel invited Olivia to his office to discuss the next stage of the program. She arrived carrying a notebook filled with ideas. Daniel smiled when he saw it. "You came prepared." Olivia laughed softly. "I did not want to waste your time." Daniel shook his head. "Your ideas are not a waste of time." They sat together reviewing different possibilities. Olivia suggested flexible learning schedules for working parents. She explained that many talented people did not lack ambition. They lacked support that understood their responsibilities. Daniel listened carefully. "You have thought about this a lot." Olivia nodded. "Because I lived it." Her answer was simple, but it carried years of experience. Daniel realized that some of the best solutions did not come from people who studied problems from a distance. They came from people who had experienced them personally. Later that week, Daniel announced the expansion of the program. The response was larger than expected. Employees shared stories about family members who had paused their dreams because life became complicated. People who had talent but needed someone to believe in them. Daniel watched the reactions and understood something important. Olivia had not only changed his perspective, she had influenced an entire company. Meanwhile, Olivia continued adjusting to her new opportunities. Some days were still difficult. She still had responsibilities at home. She still worried about making mistakes. But she no longer saw herself as someone who had fallen behind. She began seeing herself as someone who had taken a different route. One evening, Daniel visited the diner after a long day. Olivia noticed he looked tired. "Long day?" she asked. Daniel smiled. "You could say that." She placed a cup of coffee in front of him. "You know, for someone who runs a huge company, you look like you need more sleep." Daniel laughed. "That is probably true." It was a simple conversation, but Daniel appreciated moments like this. Moments where nobody expected anything from him. Moments where he could just be a person. "Can I tell you something?" Daniel asked. Olivia nodded. "Of course." He looked at the coffee cup in front of him. "Before I met you, I thought helping people was about giving them resources." Olivia listened quietly. "Now I think it is about reminding them they have value." Olivia smiled. "That is a good lesson." Daniel looked at her. "You taught me that." The next morning, Olivia received an envelope from Whitmore Enterprises. Inside was information about a long-term opportunity for Noah's education and future development. She sat at the kitchen table reading it while Noah ate breakfast beside her. She felt overwhelmed, but not because of the opportunity itself. Because someone had finally seen the effort behind everything she had done. She looked at Noah and smiled. "Your future is going to be bright." Noah looked up. "Because of the program?" Olivia shook her head. "Because of who you are." Across the city, Daniel stood in his office looking at the first version of the new company mission statement. It contained words he would not have written years ago. Community, opportunity, responsibility. He realized that success was not about reaching the highest position. It was about using that position to lift others when you had the chance. A lost wallet had brought Olivia and Daniel together. But what kept them connected was something much deeper. Respect, trust, and the understanding that kindness could create a future neither person could have built alone. Daniel Whitmore had spent years believing that leadership meant having all the answers. People came to him when they needed decisions. They trusted him to solve complicated problems and guide the company through uncertainty. But Olivia Bennett had shown him something he never learned in a boardroom. Sometimes the best leaders were not the ones who spoke the loudest. They were the ones who listened. The new family support initiative at Whitmore Enterprises continued to grow. What started as one opportunity for Olivia became a larger movement inside the company. Employees began sharing their own stories. Some talked about balancing careers with family responsibilities. Others talked about dreams they had delayed because life became complicated. Daniel listened to every story. Months earlier, he might have viewed those challenges as personal issues separate from business. Now he understood that people brought their whole lives with them wherever they worked. One afternoon, Daniel attended a meeting where executives reviewed the results of the program. The numbers were better than expected. Participation had increased. Employee satisfaction had improved. But what mattered most to Daniel was not the statistics. It was the stories behind them. "This program is changing the way people see the company," one executive said. Daniel nodded. "Good. Because a company should never forget the people who make it possible." Across town, Olivia was preparing for an important presentation of her own. She had been invited to speak about her experience with the program. At first, she wanted to decline. Public speaking had never been easy for her. She worried that people would focus on where she came from instead of what she had learned. But Noah reminded her of something. "Mom, you always tell me to be brave." Olivia smiled. "Yes, I do. Then you should be brave too." Those words gave her the confidence she needed. When Olivia arrived at Whitmore Enterprises, she stood in front of a room filled with employees and leaders. She looked at the audience and remembered the day she first walked into the building carrying Daniel's wallet. Back then, she felt like she was entering a world that was not meant for her. Now she stood there because someone believed she belonged. "I used to think opportunities were only for people who already had everything figured out," Olivia said. "But I learned something important. Sometimes people do not need someone to change who they are. They need someone to remind them what they are capable of." The room became quiet. Daniel watched from the back. He felt proud, not because she represented his program, because she represented herself. After the presentation, several employees approached Olivia to thank her. They shared how her story encouraged them to continue pursuing their own goals. Daniel saw the impact clearly. The greatest changes were not always created by the biggest decisions. Sometimes they started with one person choosing to do the right thing. That evening, Daniel and Olivia walked through the quiet office after everyone had left. The city lights reflected across the windows. "Do you ever think about that night?" Daniel asked. Olivia smiled. "Finding your wallet." "Yes." She laughed softly. "Sometimes." Daniel looked thoughtful. "It is strange how one small moment can change everything." Olivia nodded. "Maybe it was not the wallet that changed things." Daniel looked at her. "What do you mean?" "The wallet was just the moment we met. The real change came from what happened after." Daniel smiled because he knew she was right. The wallet was never the most important part of the story. It was only the beginning. Later that night, Daniel returned home and looked at the old photograph he kept in his office. For years, he thought success meant building something that would outlast him. Now he understood that the most meaningful things were not buildings or businesses. They were the lives touched along the way. Olivia returned home and found Noah waiting with his latest school project. He showed her the work he had completed and proudly explained every detail. She listened with a smile. She remembered when she used to worry only about getting through tomorrow. Now she was watching her son imagine the future. Two people from different worlds had changed each other without realizing it. Olivia had reminded Daniel that success needed compassion. Daniel had reminded Olivia that accepting an opportunity did not mean losing independence. They had both learned the same lesson. The greatest rewards in life are not always the ones we receive. Sometimes they are the ones that help us become better versions of ourselves. Daniel Whitmore used to believe that the most important moments in life were the ones everyone noticed. The signing of a major agreement, the announcement of a successful project, the decisions that appeared on business headlines. But as time passed, he discovered that the moments that changed him most were the quiet ones. A woman returning a lost wallet, a child reminding him to believe in possibility, a conversation that showed him success was not only about what he built, but also about what he gave. The support initiative at Whitmore Enterprises continued expanding, and Olivia Bennett became one of its strongest voices. She never forgot where she started. She still worked hard. She still spent evenings helping Noah with school projects. She still valued every small opportunity because she understood what it meant to have none. One afternoon, Daniel visited the diner after a company event. Olivia noticed he seemed thoughtful. "Something on your mind?" she asked while placing a coffee cup in front of him. Daniel smiled. "Always." She laughed softly. "That sounds exhausting." "Sometimes it is." He looked around the diner. "But I think I am learning to appreciate different things now." Olivia sat across from him for a moment. "What things?" Daniel looked toward the window. "The moments that do not appear on a report." Olivia understood exactly what he meant. Life was full of important moments that nobody recorded. A child learning something new. A person finding confidence again. A simple act of kindness that changed someone's direction. "You know," Olivia said, "I think people spend too much time trying to prove they matter." Daniel looked at her. "And what do you think?" She smiled. "I think people matter before they prove anything." The word stayed with him. Years of success had taught Daniel how to measure achievement. Olivia had taught him how to recognize value. Later that week, Daniel invited Olivia and Noah to visit Whitmore Enterprises for a special event celebrating the new program. Noah walked through the building with curiosity, looking at the tall windows and modern offices. "This place is huge," he said. Olivia smiled. "Yes, it is." Daniel walked beside them. "What do you think?" Noah looked around seriously. "I think a lot of people work here." Daniel laughed. "That is true." Noah thought for a moment. Do they all have someone who believes in them? The question surprised Daniel. It was simple, but powerful. He looked at the child standing beside him and realized that sometimes wisdom came from the smallest voices. "That is a very good question," Daniel said. Noah nodded. "My mom says everyone needs someone who believes in them." Daniel looked at Olivia. She smiled. "I say a lot of things." "You say important things," Daniel replied. The event continued with employees sharing their experiences. Some talked about new opportunities. Others talked about how the company culture had changed. But Daniel paid attention to one thing above everything else. People felt seen. That was the real success. Not the numbers, not the recognition, the human impact. At the end of the evening, Daniel stood with Olivia near the entrance. "Do you remember the first day you came here?" he asked. Olivia smiled. "I was terrified." "You did not look terrified." "I was very good at hiding it." Daniel laughed. "I think you are very good at being brave." Olivia looked down for a moment. "I do not always feel brave." "Neither do I," Daniel admitted. She looked surprised. "You?" He nodded. "People think confidence means you never doubt yourself. But I think confidence means you keep moving even when you do." Olivia smiled. She had never imagined that a billionaire CEO would understand that feeling. But maybe that was the lesson they both learned. Different lives could still share the same struggles. Different worlds could still understand each other. That night, Daniel returned to his office and looked around the place where he had spent so many years chasing success. The room was the same. The city was the same. But he was different. He no longer wanted to build something impressive just for himself. He wanted to build something meaningful. Meanwhile, Olivia sat at home beside Noah, watching him prepare for another school project. She thought about how much had changed. She had not become a different person. She had simply been given the chance to show who she already was. And that was the greatest gift Daniel had given her. Not money, not an easy path, a chance to be seen. Two people from different worlds had discovered the same truth. The greatest rewards are not always the things we receive. Sometimes they are the moments that remind us who we truly are. Daniel Whitmore often wondered how a single moment could change the direction of an entire life. Years ago, he believed change came from major decisions. A new company, a bold investment, a choice that appeared in headlines. But now he understood something different. The moments that mattered most were often the quiet ones. A woman finding a wallet on an empty street. A choice to return something that was never hers. A conversation that reminded two people from different worlds that kindness still existed. Time passed, but Daniel never forgot the lesson Olivia Bennett had given him. She had entered his life without asking for anything. She had not known his influence, his wealth, or his position. She only knew that someone had lost something important, and she believed it should be returned. That simple choice changed everything. The program at Whitmore Enterprises continued growing, helping more parents find opportunities while balancing their personal responsibilities. Olivia became one of the people who shaped its future. She was no longer someone standing outside a world she thought she could never enter. She was part of creating that world. One evening, Daniel visited the small diner where everything began. The familiar sounds surrounded him. Coffee being poured, quiet conversations, the simple rhythm of ordinary life. Olivia smiled when she saw him. "You keep coming back here," she said. Daniel smiled. "Maybe I like the coffee." Olivia raised an eyebrow. "You own a company with hundreds of employees. I think you can afford better coffee." Daniel laughed. "Maybe it is not about the coffee." She understood what he meant. Some places mattered because of what happened there. The diner was where Daniel met someone who changed the way he saw the world. "Do you ever think about how different things would be if you had not found that wallet?" Daniel asked. Olivia smiled. "Sometimes." "What do you think?" She looked around the diner. "I think I would still be working hard. I would still be taking care of Noah. But maybe I would have forgotten that new possibilities can appear when you least expect them." Daniel nodded. That was exactly what he felt too. They were both still the same people. Olivia was still a devoted mother. Daniel was still a successful CEO. Their lives did not become perfect, but they became richer in ways that money could not create. Later that night, Daniel attended a company celebration for the success of the new initiative. Employees gathered to share stories about how the program helped them. Daniel stood on stage and looked across the room. Years earlier, he would have talked about numbers, growth, performance, results. But this time, he talked about people. A company is built by more than ideas and investments, he said. It is built by the people who believe in something greater than themselves. Olivia listened from the audience with Noah beside her. Noah looked up and whispered, "That sounds like something you would say." Olivia smiled. "Maybe I influenced him." Noah nodded seriously. "Good." After the event, Daniel approached them. He looked at Noah and smiled. "How is school going?" Noah proudly explained his latest project and his future plans. Daniel listened carefully. He did not rush. He did not look distracted. He gave the boy the same respect he gave everyone else. Because Daniel had learned something important. Every person deserved to feel valued. No matter their age. No matter their background. No matter where they started. As the evening ended, Olivia and Daniel stood outside the building beneath the city lights. "Thank you," Olivia said quietly. Daniel looked at her. "For what?" "For seeing something in me when I did not see it myself." Daniel smiled. "I should thank you too." Olivia looked surprised. "For what?" "For reminding me that success means nothing if you forget the people around you." They stood there for a moment, understanding how much had changed. A lost wallet had brought them together. But honesty, respect, and kindness were what kept their connection alive. Olivia returned something valuable that belonged to Daniel. In return, Daniel helped her discover something she had almost forgotten, her own potential. And in the end, both of them received a reward far greater than they expected. Not money, not recognition, something much more meaningful. The reminder that one small act of kindness can travel farther than anyone ever imagines. Sometimes, the thing we return to the world is exactly what comes back to change us.